let's go ahead and get into the second game now. If you're ready, I'll count us down. You all good?
Sorry about that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go. And here we go into our second game, and I do need to actually update the scoreboard. It is currently 1-0 to Nicov after getting his win in the first game here in their 3-game series. We're here with the home map of TaToH now, which is going to be Team Islands, which, as we just said, is quite interesting due to the fact he lost on Baltic just a moment ago. We have TaToH once again in the blue down to the southwest of the map, playing as the Italians here, and Nicov up to the north in the red, playing as the Italians as well. Joining me once again, going to be KillerB.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup here between Nicov and TaToH. As I said in game one, TaToH may be the best person to learn HD meta from. He didn't really prove it in game number one, but trust me, it's still true. And we've got Nicov on the other side, who's just really, really great at Age of Empires. And like I said before, really good at picking battles, knows when to engage, and looking forward to seeing him perform in this match once again. It is an Italian's mirror. We'll have cheaper age upgrades, cheaper dock techs, cheaper fishing ships, and cheaper gunpowder. Let's see if probably 3 out of the 4 of those things will come into play here in this game.
Absolutely. They're really made for the water, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Italians really being the #1 go-to civ when it comes to these water maps in future. Obviously, the first game, it was Magyars, but it was random mirror civs. Second and third game in the series are hidden pick civs, so each player picks their civilization unbeknown to their opponent. So in this case, both players choosing the same civ. It says a lot about their decision and the civ itself. Perhaps Italians a little bit too good on the water. And I mean, you can see why. Cheaper fishing ships, great. Cheaper dock techs, great. It all adds up. Cheaper age up, great, because you want to be super fast to the feudal age so you can start pumping out your boats. But let's talk about the maps a little bit. And I mean, I'm looking at Nikov's island, and it doesn't look the greatest. The gold does seem to be quite accessible from the shoreline here.
Yeah, Nikov's got a couple of gold piles out near the shore, so that could be annoying if he does lose possession of the water. I don't think all in all that it's a terrible map. I think it is still going to come down usually to who gets out the first big punch on the water. But we have seen some really interesting late game landings and some shenanigans. So I wouldn't rule that out so early in the game. TaToH on the other side does have safer resources. They seem to be kind of on the meat of his island. So it is a good point. TaToH's a...
Oh. Hello, KillerB? You seem to die there.
Oh no.
TaToH, you said something about TaToH is a little bit, and then it was like robot and gone.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know if that's just me, but I seem to be okay on my end.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying before, but I was saying something very brilliant and interesting. So.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a shame for us. We didn't get to hear it, but next time. So TaToH here, I mean, my big question right now is, is he going to be going for 2 docks and then this kind of fast castle strategy where he tries to get fires out and retake the water in the castle age? Or are we going to see him actually commit to the water fully in the feudal age and not take that risk? Interestingly, we already kind of have an answer to that, because down at the south of the map, TaToH building his dock on the back of his island, which is quite unorthodox for the Team Islands map. Normally you see players building it out on the front. You've got better fishing out here. You're going to be closer to your opponent if they also dock on the front, and that allows you to aggress those fishing ships very quickly if you have a faster feudal time. But TaToH deciding to dock on the back tells us quite a lot. It tells us that he's not really looking to win the water in the feudal age or be super aggressive on the water. And maybe this is kind of what he was hoping he could do in the last game, and still do that kind of semi-fast castle strat here.
Yeah, it is really interesting to see TaToH building that back dock. The back of the map isn't as good as for fishing. You can see it's a lot thinner. There's not as many piles of fish. But like you said, it's going to be protected from the early navy of Nicov. Yeah, TaToH here had to have something up his sleeve because he chose this map as his home map. He's got to have a strategy that he thinks can work against Nicov. Nicov is clicked up to the feudal age. He's got every villager pretty much on wood at the moment, just trying to build up his wood count. TaToH is not clicked up yet, and he's got 2 more villagers queued. So TaToH will certainly not be up to the feudal age at nearly the time Nicov will, but he may be able to go quickly to castle.
Yeah, Nicov here with 3 ships on the water as well, so we're fully expecting him to add the 2nd and 3rd dock pretty quickly. But then again, we'll see what he is able to scout, because as soon as he sort of scouts across the front, he's going to very quickly find that TaToH's not docked on the front, and then Nicov should adjust his game plan pretty quickly according to what he sees out there. TaToH right now is still in the Dark Age, 26 population, still building up slowly but surely, 4 fishing ships out on the back. And we're definitely going to see that kind of fast castle style from him. The problem is, I mean, you do... I guess the risk is there. You know, if Nicov is able to get around the back and start denying the docks, for example, that could make it very difficult for TaToH to actually pull this off. He could also recognize very quickly that TaToH's not docked on the front and immediately send over a villager and start landing, for example, and force the fight to go to the land. But we will have to wait and see what Nikov's reaction is, I suppose, now that he's in the feudal age and now that he is queuing up his first fire galleys out here.
Yeah, I think Nicov, before finding that dock, will realize that TaToH isn't up. He'll probably be scratching his head here like, well, you know, maybe TaToH had a slow feudal age. Well, maybe he went for 1 extra vill. Well, and then all of a sudden, I think in a few seconds, he's going to realize something's really wrong here. And he's going to probably try to go up. A couple people in the chat saying TaToH going up fast castle to fires, and he should be able to catch his opponent off guard. But I think Nikov's going to be ready for this after the first few ships. I think he's going to stop queuing more galleys.
Well, I think if there's any civ to do it with, the Italian's definitely a good one. Obviously, with the cheaper age-up costs, you're going to be able to very, very easily get up to the castle age as well. You could probably do it on less population quite comfortably. He has actually gone up with 28 population at the moment. But for the time being, Nikov's scouting the front. He's going to see, yep, no docks. He's going to see, oh, TaToH's only just hit feudal. And let's see now, what is Nikov's reaction? He's adding more fire galleys. And I actually think this is probably the right thing to do. Go and find the dock location of TaToH, kill his fish, and actually stop him from building more docks out here. And just try and prevent TaToH for getting those additional docks up, or at least delay them a little bit.
Yeah, Nikov's immediately going to add in a barracks. I think once he identified something was wrong with TaToH's build, he's going to add in a barracks and probably an archery range again, and probably a transport ship again, because I think that's the smartest play from his point of view. You're powering villagers on wood and gold. Archers cost wood and gold, so just get them across the map and start harassing. He's not going to be able to reconfigure his eco fast enough to get to castle real quickly, but he can certainly reconfigure his military to attack TaToH on land.
Yeah, I think TaToH's actually got a very good shot here, to be honest. I do think TaToH is in a good position still. He's got to wait for that castle age tech to finish, though, and he's currently on 20%, able to click up very quickly. But once again, is Nicov going to be able to get those units across the map fast enough? In last game, the answer was yes. In this game, well, he's only just started the archer production, and TaToH will be much faster to the castle age as well in comparison to that last game. So I feel like I don't think Nikov's going to get the units across in time. That's my concern, as TaToH hits about 50% now on that castle age upgrade.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to see. Nikov's transport ship is 50% of the way built. Nicov has built a demo ship. Not sure what he's planning for, but TaToH's starting to dock on the front. His dock on the back is almost certainly going to survive long enough because there's only one fire galley there from Nicov for now. So yeah, it is. The clock is ticking here. We've got a little suspense. We'll see who's faster and who's able to maybe catch a lucky break. If you get your archers across from Nicov, you might catch a lucky break here.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to want to get a couple more archers across, though, because 2 archers just not going to be enough. But I think he realizes how quickly he's got to do this. He's sending them over now, and I think TaToH will just about maybe not, actually. I don't know if he's going to finish that dock in time. No, he won't. The archers are going to come in. So, actually, this is good. The fact that he didn't wait any longer and he sent just 2 archers, sure, he's not going to be able to do the most damage with that, but already he's denying this dock, and that's a big thing for him. At the moment, Nikov's doing fletching as well, and he'll go back for more archers now. So we're almost seeing like a repeat of the last game. What's TaToH doing differently? Well, he's up a lot faster, but he still isn't really prepared for this landing, and he's still going to end up having a lot of villagers and a lot of his economy harassed by these 2 archers alone here.
TaToH's got a demo garrisoned in his front dock there, which he could get some really nice splash damage on. He's probably waiting to have a fire ship to follow it up. War Galley is queued in TaToH's back dock, so he's going to wait for the right moment and probably take the water pretty swiftly here.
Yeah, he also wants to stop this transport ship as well, sending more archers across. He needs to shut that down before these archer numbers really grow to a point where he can't deal with it anymore. The demolition ship will come out and bring these 3 fire galleys very low. That's enough for his 1 single fire ship to clean it up. But there's still more archers coming across, and they're still peppering these villagers on the gold with arrows now that fletching is complete for Nicov. But TaToH will safely get a second TC up at the back here, and with just a couple of fire ships, he should be able to retake the water, actually. It doesn't take a huge amount now for him to be able to do this.
Yeah, TaToH did pop that demo ship out and did do a ton of damage to Nikov's 3 fire galleys there. For the moment, though, TaToH not turning to fight with his fire ship, and the transport ship still survives. Somehow that transport ship was maybe just a panel or 2 away from TaToH's fog of war, and it's going to continue to transport archers across, and they are going to continue to harass TaToH, whose resources are not, they're very safe from the water, but of course, these archers getting into the back of the economy as we speak.
Yeah, this time around, though, actually, TaToH's able to get a tower up on that gold, and he started to wall off the south side of his island as well, just as these archers are coming in. So I think TaToH should be able to deal with this. I mean, these 2 archers on the left, oh, sorry, villagers on the left, or these 3 villagers on the left, could come under some fire. As the archers come forward, he can't close it in time. Oh, it was so close. Once again, so close. That tower's going to do a reasonable amount of damage, though, with 4 archers here. He's actually going to fight with the Vills. Not the best idea, because with a little bit of micro, those archers are going to come out on top, and that's TaToH once again throwing away some villagers right now, as Nikov's going to pick them off and do what he can here to do as much damage as possible before these archers go down.
Yeah, TaToH did not lure boars with his scout in the early game, so his scout was on full HP, but that isn't enough to get the job done. 3 villagers down and the scout. So really nice timing there from Nicov, who, you know, he just got in there by maybe 5-10 seconds before TaToH would have had him walled out on that flank. So there are 4 archers in, Nicov sending in more. He may leave a couple archers to guard that opening just to make sure that his opponent doesn't finish the walls. But 4 very low HP archers could actually swing the tide of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've already killed a couple of Vills already, but just look at the villager difference for Nicov and TaToH now. I mean, Nikov's on 41 villagers, TaToH's on 29, and once again, we've got the defensive Scorpion coming out for TaToH. And the big difference this time around, though, is that Nicov hasn't been able to land any villagers over, so this aggression, once it's gone, he's not got to worry about a follow-up. There's no Castle Age follow-up here in terms of a landing, although TaToH is still losing villagers to these 2 archers somehow. I don't know if he's paying the most attention down here, as really Nikov's giving himself a huge advantage once again.
Yeah, TaToH's up with 2 TCs, 3 docks, fire ships coming on the front. He's going to push at Nicov, and he's going to have a little bit of time before Nikov's ships are upgraded in the Castle Age. We've got a 4th dock coming for TaToH as we speak. Demo ships from TaToH scouting the back, or 1 demo ship scouting the back of Nikov's island.
Oh, I don't believe this. TaToH, please. The transport ship's going to come across again, and Nikov's actually going to land 3 more Vills over. I can't believe he's let that happen, because TaToH was actually he's already damaged the transport ship. I'm pretty sure one of his fires was attacking the transport ship earlier for a brief second, and he's not killing the transport. I know he's had it in his line of sight quite a bit this game, so it's too late now. Nikov's over, and he's got the siege workshop and the monastery. But TaToH here actually with the Scorpion coming in, and actually I didn't realize that he sent the Scorpion out, but that could actually save his skin a little bit out here.
Yeah, TaToH's got another Scorpion coming from the other side. If he finds Nicov soon, he might be able to catch him. Nicov could delete the monastery. Now he's not going to do it in time. Nicov built a monastery about halfway, and TaToH has found it. So TaToH, at this point, can expect that there are still a few villagers alive on his island. Nicov hits the castle age, and he is really under pressure. All of his docks are being attacked by fire ships, and he's not queuing anything inside those docks for the moment. So TaToH here is seizing a bit of the initiative.
Yeah, trying to retake the water, absolutely. And I think now he is, well, he's dealt with the transport, if I'm not mistaken. So if he can kill these 2 villagers on here, wherever they are, oh, there they are. If he can kill these 2, then he's not going to have to worry about more vills. He just has to deal with what's going to come out of this stable, which of course is going to be a knight. This villager, well, she's going to get taken down by a wolf. And if he can just finish off this vill, that's going to be great. But if this vill survives, then TaToH's going to have a little niggle in the back of his head, because the potential for these villagers to cause havoc is a real problem, and Nicov does survive. So he's going to be able to build the monastery up. He's going to be able to complete a siege workshop now that he's got a knight to deal with any siege that TaToH might throw at him.
What a suspenseful game, that villager surviving by 1 scorpion shot, while her best friend, maybe her twin sister, getting killed by a wolf on the other side of the map. First couple knights from Nicov coming out, like you said, no upgrades on those. Nicov is clicking Imperial Age, though, really, really early. And he's going to be aggressive coming into the Imperial Age. Wow,
he actually built a university and a monastery back home as well, just so he can get those buildings up. TaToH, once again, with the monk, going to get 1 conversion on the knight here, and that knight should immediately go for the villager. So, Nicov going to quickly wall the villager in. Good play by him. Make sure she survives. Make sure he can complete that siege workshop, get his own monk out, reconvert the knight. But amazingly, yes, Nicov on the way up to the Imperial Age. I didn't catch that because I was kind of hoping the overlay would show it, but it seems like the overlay is a little bugged, and it hasn't updated the, or it isn't showing me the upgrade from Nicov coming in. But the fact that he stayed on 1 TC, and the fact that he did this fast imp, might blindside TaToH a little here, as... I mean, what do we expect from Nicov once he gets there, though? That's the question. He's going up with 44 population. He's not going to have the biggest economy. I imagine we're just going to see chemistry coming up and the gunpowder coming in, which is something that the Italians also do pretty well.
Yeah, it will be really interesting. Nicov isn't taking stone. Sometimes you take stone, you build a castle, and then you build docks under that castle, and you retake the water. That doesn't seem like his strategy. Nicov could dock the backside of his island, but he would have started doing that already if that was the plan. Chemistry is on the way for him, so that could be indicative of what he's up to. But yeah, Imperial Age coming in here without a whole lot of aggression behind it.
Well, all of this has relied on this 1 villager surviving, because if he didn't complete the siege workshop, and if he didn't keep this villager alive so that she can build now potentially an archery range or something like that, then this kind of fast Imperial strategy might have ended up biting Nicov, but Nikov's going to get away with it because this 1 villager will survive. Once chemistry is complete in 40 seconds, he's going to be able to go ahead and get some bombard cannons out. He's just completed Atonement, Redemption, so he can convert the Siege of TaToH, so he can convert the Monks of TaToH. And TaToH definitely in a better position compared to the last game. At least he has his economy standing, and he's got more villagers as well. But Nicov here, going to find himself getting converted pretty quickly, losing 1 monk. Wow, the monk carrying the relic gets converted as well. And TaToH here coming out on top in this monk war by the looks of things for the time being.
Yeah, TaToH is out with a couple early conversions. Nikov's adding in scouts so that he can resist that conversion a bit longer. Doing a decent job to keep his knight away from those monks, adding in another siege workshop. So Nikov's keeping himself alive and afloat. But TaToH here seems to be starting to push his opponent off the island. However, 2 more monks going down from the blue player. And we'll see how this goes. Micro is actually really important right here for TaToH. You can't lose these units for free.
Yeah, but I think TaToH's done something really good here, actually, by destroying this siege workshop very quickly. He used this ram, he used the mangonel to take the siege workshop down. And so, although Nicov now does have chemistry, he isn't doing anything with it because he doesn't have a building to actually make any units from. TaToH's going to see the siege workshop at the south coming up, and Nicov now finally going to be able to put that to use and start making the bombard cannon, but it's definitely going to be delayed. And in the meantime, you've got TaToH, who is now ahead by 25 vils basically, and that's just going to keep growing as he's got these additional TCs up, and Nikov's still only on the 2 TCs back home. So I mean, this fasting strat, it can work really well if you can catch your opponent off guard, I suppose, and you can steamroll them very quickly. But TaToH's very aware of what's going on. He's adding in some knights right now as well, and if these bombard cannons go down quickly from Nicov, well, he's just throwing the resources in the bin at this point.
Yeah, TaToH with a couple knights, he's going to make a push against the landing of Nicov. Those first 3 knights come out. None of them converted just yet. They can run into the back and get some of Nikov's very expensive bombard cannons. But first, they're going to grab this villager. She may end up dying to the wolf instead of the knights. Yeah. Either way, it's fine for TaToH.
Absolutely. I don't know who she died to, but ultimately TaToH needs to kill the Vil, and he will do just that. He does still have good water control, so he knows that, okay, for now there's not going to be any more transport ships coming out. And I don't know why TaToH's not sent the knights out already to go and destroy or kill these bombard cannons, but he will do that now with knights coming out on the left side. So I think TaToH's dealt with this very, very well, to be honest with you. And Nikov's now, you know, got no villagers left on this landing. He's still making a couple of monks. He's making the odd bombard cannon, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this landing is flunked. It's been a failure, and Nicov needs to go to plan B, and that is now to start retaking the water and make sure that TaToH can't land him back.
Yeah, interesting that Nicov chose to dock the front of his islands, because TaToH does still have quite a few ships kind of roaming around on the water. TaToH should find this pretty soon and react to it. But I think it's a last kind of ditch effort from Nicov, who's on 65 pop, while his opponent is on 102. His forward is definitely dying. I don't think he can rescue it, but maybe he can. He's losing some really expensive units like bombard cannons and soon to be a couple of monks. So it's going really poorly for Nicov, but he's going to try to change the game back to a water match, and we'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, fast fires coming through for Nicov now, as he's going to try and retake the water, just make sure that that TaToH can't strike back. Meanwhile, at the north of the map, I mean, I didn't notice this because, you know, blue blending in with blue on the minimap. TaToH actually fishing like crazy up here. He's got, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 fishing ships up in the north, so really able to capitalize on having that water control, really able to give his economy a really big buff due to that bonus food income. He's also got another 3 fish down in the south as well, so really contributing to TaToH's economy. But it's not going to last long if Nikov's roaming around with fast fires and TaToH doesn't react quickly here. TaToH does need to get more docks up. He does need to get on the water again now that he's dealt with this, well, this forward from Nicov, as these fast fires could also be very devastating as they start taking down the first fishing ships in the center of the map here.
Yeah, fast fires from Nicov are, like I was saying, I think they're kind of a last-ditch effort to try to get something going in his direction, but they've caught TaToH a little off guard. He doesn't really have the navy to deal with this. We'll see if TaToH has time to retech and basically upgrade his navy. I think he should have plenty of time because he's got a much larger eco and many more docks than Nicov does at the moment. But TaToH taking some stone as well can soon drop a castle, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, Nicov doesn't need that much eco to make a lot of fires either. You know, he can, bear in mind, in the Feudal Age, you can support 3 dock production of fire galleys quite comfortably. Now he's in the Imperial Age with 2 TCs, and he's just getting wheelbarrow, which is quite late, but nevertheless, my point remains, he can support fast fire production, since the base cost doesn't change from fire ship or fire galley. He can support that, and since TaToH is still in the castle age and he isn't imperial yet, it's going to be quite difficult for him to rival these fast fire ships.
Yeah, TaToH's going to drop his castle up in the north near where his fish are. He's got 5 or 6 docks in that part of the map. So I think it's a really nice castle location. It looks like it will go up uncontested. TaToH's going to build a couple demo ships and a transport ship on that northern part of the map. So keep that in mind.
Okay, that's good. I mean, he's doing fast fires now as well, so he's going to fight fire with fire. And that transport, as I said before, this is exactly why Nicov very quickly transitioning back into the water here. He doesn't want a counter landing coming through from TaToH. That's something he wants to avoid, absolutely. That castle going up though near the docks is pretty huge. That's definitely going to keep them nice and safe. And for now as well, he will keep the transport ship alive. I want to say alive, but no, it's going to go down. Wow, those fires really hit hard against, well, against everything on the water. They're really strong.
Yeah, that's a pretty meaningful thing. Nicov not only seeing that his opponent is trying to attempt a landing, but able to deny it for at least another minute or so. Yeah, the numbers on the water seem to be pretty nicely in Nikov's favor. TaToH does have a lot of docks in the north. He's got 5 or 6 fast docks queuing fast fire ships, and another transport ship is queued up. So we will probably see him try once again to land quite soon.
Yeah, and I like this though. TaToH is actually following this up with Galleon right now. He's actually going to start producing some Galleons here. Obviously, the fast fires are great at locking down the water control, taking down docks, for example, but they can't reach inland. And by having the Galleons out, you do get a little bit more reach. You are able to start killing villagers potentially from the shoreline. I mean, imagine if Nicov was to come around the back with some Galleons here, he would kill a lot of these vills inside of TaToH's economy. So actually adding the Galleons in as well is definitely a really good choice. But he's got to be very careful of this landing from TaToH. As we said before, the transport is being re-queued. It's now complete, and I think TaToH is getting ready to send some villagers across. The villager count's actually equalizing a little bit, as TaToH did lose all of those fish, I believe, or most of those fish. So, you know, Nikov's definitely still in this game at the moment, that's for sure. He's got the better military by the looks of things, or the better navy, I would say. And now he's just got to be careful of that landing. But I think it's going to be tough for TaToH to pull a landing off here, as Nicov does have great vision of his island at the moment as well.
Yeah, Nikov's done a really nice job. You see a lot of players doing this. TaToH's done it pretty well, too, of building a house here and there just to keep some visibility on every corner of the island that he has. That transport is going to sneak in, sort of. I think it is outside of the view of Nicov for now. So TaToH will get a landing in, and it may not be something that Nicov will be ready. He'll be expecting it, but he might not know exactly where it's coming from.
Yeah, the transport is going around the top as these guys are scuffling on the water at the moment, using that wide stance as well, just in case any demos are in the mix. And I think we're going to see from TaToH barracks here. I think we're going to see, you know, probably Condottiero coming up. Wait, have did I say that right? Is it Condottiero or Condottiero? I'll check when I see them being made, because I know that that's what TaToH's going to do, because this is like a mirror image of what we saw in the game versus BacT, and these Condottieros are extremely strong, and they will very quickly get into Nikov's eco and do a lot of damage, since they need so few upgrades to be good. They're condos. We'll just call them condos. How about that? TaToH here as well, engaging on the water. This is a pretty cool fight, because we've got Galleons in the back for Nicov, but he's simply outnumbered right now, as TaToH here is going to be able to push him back, and meanwhile, as he retreats, getting on quite a lot of free damage as well. So this is very good for TaToH, as not only is he winning the water, but this landing at the back doesn't seem like Nikov's prepared for this at all, and Nikov's calling GG right there. Wow, once again, TaToH with that landing with the condos works very well.
Yeah, it was a really nice landing. I was watching that while you were watching the naval fight. TaToH built an outpost right away. He could see Nicov. Nicov couldn't see him at the beginning of that. He built up 3 barracks before Nicov even could have known what was coming. And the Condottiero jumping out here, and GG. So TaToH takes game number 2 and evens the series.
Condottiero. I can say it. I just always forget, because I've said it wrong for so long that it's kind of like legitimized the wrong pronunciation in my mind. Definitely a good game from TaToH there, and I think this is something that players need to wise up to. They need to wise up to the TaToH strats, because he did this versus BacT, and that's also how he got his victory as well, landing with the barracks at the back and flooding those guys in. And as I said before, the reason why it's so strong is because, unlike champions, the champion line, you don't need to upgrade the condos. You know, you queue them out of the barracks and you don't need to upgrade anything other than the defense upgrade. And they've got 80 health off the bat. They've got 10 attack off the bat. And when they're fully upgraded, they have 5 pierce armor as well, which is great at getting under the TC and raiding. So I feel like TaToH's got a very good game plan when it comes to Team Islands. And I liked Nikov's attempt at the landing, but TaToH did do a very good job at dealing with that as well. And I guess that's a real big key in his strategy, which is to do that fast castle. Does leave himself wide open to a landing attempt.
Yeah, great win from TaToH. This was his home map, and he definitely had a strategy in mind, and he pulled it off. It was a great game. Good to see TaToH strike back and win game number 2. And I guess we'll go into game 3 with to figure out who's got the better part of this series.
Absolutely. We do have game 3 coming up, which will be Arabia, the home map of Nicov. And I have a feeling as well that we're going to see Indians coming up in this next game. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys, for our third game. I just want to say a quick thank you to